things they build in North Carolina?
No, I've seen it online, man.
They sell like 350s in them, and they race them.
350 engines, like Chevy, big blocks?
That's what they sound like. They change the head, the carburetor.
And there's no muffler, it's just straight pipes all the way?
No, straight pipes with the tiny mufflers.
No kidding. So today I'm selling my USMC camouflage tractor. This guy Tim from Farmingville? Center Reach. Came out to get it. Center Reach is far. I'm surprised he made it in 40 minutes. Anyway, I'm letting go of this really cheap because the wife is getting on my ass. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about. I mean, I just got too much stuff, man. I just gotta let it go, you know? You just gotta let it go. Alright, say goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I know I let that go cheap, but I gotta get rid of stuff, you know? So I'm put a little dent into it. I gotta park something else over there, or leave it. Anyway, so Chris's small engines told me I should paint the deck black a little, which I agree. You know, clean that up a little bit and just spray some black on there. At least it looks a little better, you know, than that. I'm not gonna go crazy on it. I'm just gonna clear it off and put some of this cheap 98-cent black gloss over it. My boy Doug Leap over at Doug's Mowers and Blowers, he had the same feeling as I on this really cool dual-purpose ball hitch. So, you know, I only have the kind of trailer that connects with one of those spike things that you put in the hole, you know. And then it's a pain because I gotta take my ball off to put that trailer on. But then at the same time, if I have another trailer with the ball hitch thing, I don't want to have to put the ball on there. So this is a dual purpose one. So it's very cool. I'm gonna remove this off of this Poulon because I'm definitely keeping it. And I'm gonna get some more information on this for Doug. He wants to get one too. So Doug, it was easy to take off, right? But there ain't no numbers on it at all. This is what it looks like on the bottom. This nut has this thing on it with teeth on it, so it grips onto whatever you're putting it on. See, like that. I'm actually thinking that maybe they sell just this and you put your own ball on there, which is what it looks like. See? Oh, you know what? Some words here. It just says hitch. Hitch. You know what? Hitch host. Let me look at it more. I rubbed out the words. I tried to wet it. I think it said hitch and post. Hitch and post. Kind of like mowers and blowers. I think it said hitch and post. That's what it said. Anyway. Numbers on top says CCP 1 7/8, KO2K 2000 something or other. But I think that's just a generic number for this ball, you know. But this thing I think is called Hitch and Post, which is a catchy name. I'm sure you can find it. Yeah, so now I got it on my beauty here. It's cool. The back of that hitch has a rubber coping around it. Almost acts like a bumper, you know? Very cool. Have enough paint it all just to get the outsides. I'm not even going to get the inside here. I only have enough just to coat it, you know. Should be good enough. Better than nothing, right? I have a feeling I'm going to sell this before any of the other ones. People like lawn tractors with big baggers on it, you know. Not that this is a big bagger, but it's a bagger. People just like the bagger. Nobody mulches anymore, man. That's good enough just to get a coating on here. This paint is so cheap that it you don't need to do the because it's not gonna run. I'm telling you, because it hardly coats at all. You know, you need like 5 coats to get it looking good. See, it hardly even coats it. Like these words here, I'll just go right over it. See, won't even coat it. You get what you pay for. Just do that. You know what? If I do that sparingly, I could actually do the other side too. Which I have like maybe a quarter. I could probably do the other side too. So the other side has the bagger on it, so didn't really need much. However, that middle part looks like hell. It doesn't even go over the sticker, you know, because it's such a light amount. Just getting the rusty spots with what I got left, which is not much. It won't even overspray. It's such a weak paint. So I'm not even worried about the masking because it doesn't really go over anything. That looks yucky over here. What the hell am I worried about that seat for, huh? Seat's done to me. Now it's much better, for sure. A little bit of paint. Almost done. See, even after it's drying, still see through it. So I wouldn't recommend this paint. It's only 99 cents, but I wouldn't recommend it because you're going to end up buying 3 cans just to get the right color, you know? Just to get the right coating. So I would just go buy Rust-Oleum 2 times. That stuff is great. I mean, it does cost $6, but you'll buy 6 cans of this just to get the same product, you know what I mean? So, get what you pay for. That's why they coined that phrase, you know? Anyway. Way better than before. I don't have any left, but at least cover the rust spots, you know? Gotta be vertical. That's it. No more. That was good use of 48 cents. So let's get to the video now, what we're here for. I am continuing part 2 of my engine rebuild. I've already, as you saw from the last episode of part 1, I've already installed the Synchro balancer links, right? It was a pain to get in there. I've oiled up all the moving parts with some Lucas Oil SAE30. Thanks, Lucas Oil. I appreciate everything that you do to support me, support small channels like myself, and thank you, Tom and Luann, for all the supply. So over here, there's a little bit of discoloration from the seal, and so I just took some sandpaper, very fine grit, and oiled it with some Lucas Oil SAE30, and now it's nice and smooth. I don't even know whether or not you really needed it, but I did it just in case anyway. I wanted it to be perfect, you know. It's lubed very well that I don't need a ratchet, or not a ratchet, but a vice grip to turn it. I can turn it with my hand. See that? So I was waiting for my camshaft. I bought this for $25. It's an aftermarket. I had to order it because while my camshaft was in good condition, the ACR, compression release, fell off of it. Actually, the shaft broke. So what I've heard from people is that you can't just buy one of these. It comes installed, and there's no way you can put it on. So spring, shaft, and compression release is here. You know, here. This is the original one. This one has a notch in it. See that? This one doesn't. Otherwise, it's identical. Lobes are pointed in the same direction. Yeah, other than that, it's identical. I don't know if that makes any difference. We'll find out. Also comes with new tappets. Should I use the new tappets or should I use the OEM ones? The OEM ones look good. Uh-oh. Alright. Should I use the new ones? There's a reason why they give you tappets, right? Because they may wear out. Guess I used the new ones. Gotta make sure you earl them. Yeah. Maybe I should use the new ones. I'll use the new ones. Just put a light coating of Earl on there. They're both identical, so it doesn't matter which way. However, the push rods, one's aluminum, and that goes on the intake side. Yeah, I think so. I didn't move them. I didn't remove them, so they're there. They're where it was originally. I don't have to. I didn't remove them because for that reason. You know, if there's no reason to remove them, I won't remove them. But I didn't want to mix them up. All right. Tappets are in here. I poured some oil into that hole where this goes. Yes, I know, when you fill this thing with oil, it'll all be covered in oil anyway, but you want to make sure that these tight spots still have some oil in it. There you go. All right. I'm looking for the timing mark on this gear here. And it's over here. Let me stick this in first. Timing mark for this one is here. Okay, I'm going to show you how I lined up the timing marks. There's a dot right there, and a tiny dot that you probably can't see that's right there. These two have to line up perfectly, which they are. That's to ensure that the timing is correct. Otherwise it won't start, or you'll have misfires. Probably won't start. And as you know, my governor was trashed from the initial damage of this of the counterweight balances braking. And because of that, these plastic gears here are stripped from the original. I actually had one in my bag of parts. It was from a, I want to say 19.5 horsepower, same engine, right? And I whipped it out, and they're identical in every way. So I'm going to clean this one up, and it's pretty clean, but I want to wipe it all down, you know, and then oil it. Earl it! Now this is going to be tricky because, you know what, I kind of forgot how this went. I know that this governor shaft here is supposed to be sitting on that, but does it go like this? Or it goes like this? It can't go like that because there's no room. This won't fit down there, so it has to be like this. And I believe it just sits there, and you have to make sure it's lined up exactly like here. So when you put the sump cover back on, there's a little notch inside the sump cover that holds it like that. You know? There's some play here, but then once this part hooks up to the hole in the sump cover, it'll stay there. Same goes with the Synchro balancer. This part here, as you can see, this moves around freely right now, that it could actually hit the governor shaft. But I believe it's also designed to line up with that slot right here. Right there. Technically, I could just do that and be alright. I have to get my gasket ready. I'm going to clean up this governor. Swipe this down. Blew it. I don't know. That just seems a little unprecise. You know what I mean? I don't know. Doesn't seem very precise to me. This looks like it could hit that thing too. I don't know. I'm a little worried about it. But this is the way it came. What can I do? I don't know. I'm hesitant on the way this looks. Just sits like that. Whatever. Alright. Won't know unless I try, right? This is my gasket. I paid I think $10 or $8, something like that. There was cheaper ones that were aftermarket, but this is the Briggs & Stratton one. See that? Briggs & Stratton. 697 110. It's a .015 thickness. Very thin. Oh, great. Watch me rip it, trying to get this open. Why do they make it so difficult? I can see it, so I'm just ripping that. Actually, this is like a real gasket. Gaskets I bought for the opposed twin, they're so thin. It's like the backing of a sticker. You know what I mean? So thin. This is actually like a real gasket. You know, made out of cardboard or something. People use cereal boxes and make their own gasket. Thought about doing that, but seems like a lot of work to me with the holes and stuff. A lot of work. And here's the gasket. Oh, son of a gun! You see? I almost ripped that mamma jamma. Alright. I'm missing a dowel pin here, but I'm sure it'll line up just fine. Alright, just looking at it. That's not right. There. Perfect fit. So the question is, should I put some gasket maker under it and over it and then put it down? Or should I not put it on and just leave it the way it is? I think it's designed by the manufacturer, right? To just do this, right? Because there was no gasket stuff when I removed it. So why would I put it on there now? If the manufacturer doesn't do it, why should we do it? But I've seen videos where we do it. So there's the thing. I mean, it would help keep it on here right, because there is a little bit of play, like less than 1 millimeter of play. So if it moved just a smidgen, right, there wouldn't be enough gasket on even sides, you know, of the holes. And then when you put the bolt in, maybe it'll grind the hole, you know. So I'm almost inclined to put some on there, a very thin film, so that it at least holds it in place where I want it to be, so it won't move, you know. I've also seen either 69 Ford or that FNA guitar player guy, or Double Wide 6, I think that's what it is, one of those guys. They took spray paint, tacky spray paint, and hung this up, sprayed both sides, so that it's tacky. I don't know. I don't know about that. That's not designed to do that, is it? You know, spray paint? Yeah, it would make it stickier, but I think I'm going to put very little gasket maker on here, just so that it doesn't move, because I'm missing a dowel pin. That's what I'm going to do. I've got this Permatex. I've used this quite a bit. Blue RTV gasket maker, silicone. Just going to do a very thin film. I'm not going to need that. Puncture the seal. And this is messy, I will tell you. Should I put gloves on? I should put gloves on. I'll put gloves on. Now, Mr. Henry, we will put some lubricant on these fingers, and I want you to lie down sideways and put your knees to your chest, and I want to ask you a few questions. What's your favorite football team? Well, my favorite football team, I really like the Dallas Cowboys! Oh, Jesus! Doc, you didn't even buy me dinner first. Yes, I'm very sorry. It is my job. Oops, 2 fingers up the union. If you fellers are over 40 years old, you need to get the digit test. Unfortunately, oh, you know what? I didn't wipe that down. Unfortunately, when you turn 50, you have to go for colon tests. Man, I gotta go get a colonoscopy, son of a bitch. But you know, they have those things where you don't need to go to the doctor. There's a thing called colon guard. Still need a prescription from your doctor, but it's a home test. You send them your poo, and they'll analyze 99% of markers that tell you whether or not you're high risk for colon cancer. I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't have colon cancer in my family. I mean, I do have cancer in my family, but not colon cancer. So I don't think I'm at that kind of risk. I might try that. I just turned 50 last October. You guys know that. I made a big hoopla about not celebrating my birthday. Anyway, so yeah, other than that, I've been getting AARP memberships in the mail like every day. They want my $16 a year, and I just might give it to them just so they just stop sending me stuff. Well, people say that even though you're a member, they still send you stuff. So whatever. I'm going to spray a little bit of brake cleaner on here to get it cleaner. cleaner. Lucas oil. Just a little bit, just to get any kind of oily residue off of the surface. What was I saying? Oh yeah, well, there is prostate cancer in my family. My dad had it. And that's why I go and get my prostate exam every year, although it has been a couple of years I've neglected myself. But honestly, guys, I haven't felt better in a long time. So, you know, there's really no reason to see a doctor. You know, you could get something just from going to the doctor. You go to a hospital or something like that, try to stay out of the hospital. Because you go into the hospital for one thing, you may never leave that hospital. I've seen it. I've heard it. You go in there and you catch something, or something else happens. Somebody makes a mistake. Oh, I went in to amputate my left leg. Guess what? They amputated my right leg. Completely ridiculous. All right. Well, look, that's clean now. Here we go. Still have this. I'm just gonna do super light film, just so it holds the gasket in place. You know what I mean? I know you know what I mean. I'm gonna do the sump too, so that both sides are covered. Now that's a little too thick. You want it to be as even as possible, but with the amount of torque that you put down when you screw the sump back on here, the amount of torque is so high that it doesn't really matter. As long as it's not completely cured, it'll seal. But adding this stuff here just makes sure that everything is sealed properly. Just a thin layer, don't go crazy. Now, if you didn't have a gasket, it would have to be thicker, of course. But I'm just making it so that there's a adhesive surface so that the gasket won't move when I put the cover on, you know? That's all that I'm concerned of. And it gives a little bit of a tighter seal. Cool. It's pretty good. Surprised I didn't get any on the camshaft. That's pretty good. It's pretty thorough. Yep, it's nice and tacky and sticky, for sure. This stuff is good stuff. Kind of expensive though. I think this was like $6 when I do the cap. Well, it will dry out if I don't find the damn cap, man. Alright, so I'm going to put the gasket on now. Alright, here we go, here we go. I'm making sure that it lines up perfectly with the hole right in the center. I was thinking about putting some Loctite on the sump bolts, but honestly, I don't have so much confidence in this rebuild that I have a feeling that I might have to open this up again someday and redo it, because the way the governor sits on there like that, it's just so close to all the moving parts at such high speeds that I just don't have the confidence that it's going to stay in place and not get hit by those moving parts, you know? You know that feeling, right? I know you know what I mean. I just don't have the confidence. And I don't have the confidence with rebuilding engines. Like, for instance, that LT1000 that I had, that I rebuilt the engine. That was my first real true rebuild by replacing both connecting rods and all the other components that came with it. That actually ran really well. That was one of the smoothest engines that I've had. And for me to rebuild that, I really felt good about myself with that, you know. But I was like, oh, this thing's going to blow up the minute I crank it over, you know. But actually, it ran really well for a while, you know. I then sold it, I think, for good money. I think I sold it for $750 or something like that. Maybe more, I don't remember. $750, yeah. I mean, I was okay with letting it go for $750. It was still an underpowered engine for that machine, you know. Oh, no, that's wrong. That was a 19 or 21 horsepower. Yeah, that was decent. Yeah, decent! Alright, so look, that seems okay, right? I'm pretty sure this gasket won't move, and it's centered in every hole. And that's what I wanted. I wanted it to be centered. So, now I'm going to get the sump. Here's the sump, right? I'm going to clean it up a little bit more. Some dust has gotten in there and some grass, whatever. And I've already cleaned this with a wire wheel and zzz, just took it all out. So I was talking about this part here. This part here sits there, holds the balancer in place so it doesn't move left or right. I'm counting on this one not to trash my governor, you know. But this governor, this fin here, right here, when it moves, it looks like it'll just hit the links, you know, as it's moving. I just don't know how that works, you know. Unless when you put it on, it goes like this. Then it just clears it by a little, you know. I mean, I'm hoping. That's this part here, I believe. This part here pushes this down. So I'm going to clean this up just a little. So I just did the same thing to the sump cover. And here's the moment of truth. I'm just gonna put it on. Oh, I also tightened the the bolt for the oil drain because it was, I could hand turn it, so just tighten that. So pretty clean. I used this to do the surface. I put a light coating as I did before. This is lined up with the governor shaft. This is in the middle. Timing marks are lined up. It's clean. It's oiled. Gasket's on there. Just, oh, almost forgot. See, you see. I almost forgot. Gotta oil the shaft before I put it in. Almost forgot. Yes, it's all going to be coated with oil, splashing around, but for the initial firing and stuff, it may not have enough Earl on there, so it'll damage it, maybe. I need to do that. And the inside of this. And the seal, too. I didn't change the seals because, well, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. Watch me get 2 new seals to fix seals that are fine, and then while I'm taking the seal off, I damage the sump, crack it or something like that. Yeah, that stuff happens, guys. It ain't fixed. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. If it's broken, then fix it. You know? That's what I do. Of course, I'm not a professional, so I do non-professional things. I'm just a garage guy, you know? But you guys know that. Some of you guys think I am a professional, so giving me advice about how to be professional. Well, I'm not a shop, so I don't need to do all that stuff. I'm a flipper, remember that. Get stuff, get it working, get rid of it. However, I should really take my own advice by getting rid of it. I haven't gotten rid of a lot of things. I'm working on it though. I'm lowering my prices, like Gary Bellinger said. Henry, you need to lower your prices, man. You're scaring people away. They won't buy your stuff. And I says, yeah, I know. I will. I'll lower my prices. Hey, just got rid of that camouflage thing. I didn't think I'd ever get rid of that thing. I mean, it runs and stuff, you know. Does it run well? It's okay. Does it rattle a lot? Yes. But it's also from the 70s or 80s. Alright, I'm just going to do it, guys. Enough of this BS. I'm just going to freaking put it on. I don't care. See? That moved. It's not supposed to move. We lined up perfectly with that. Oh, man. You're probably like, alright, Henry, shut up and just do it, will you? Alright. Doesn't go in. Ooh. Oh wow. How about that? That was cool. I didn't expect it to go in that easy. I thought I had to wiggle this thing around. Well, it's a little harder to turn now. Well, guys, I think it's lined up perfectly. I can see through the holes here. The holes. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm gonna get my. Oh no! I gotta take this off. The seal is dicked. No, what a nightmare. Oh no. Pinched it. I've heard Tyrell say that. Don't pinch the seal. I'm going to get on there without pinching the seal. This is going to take a while, guys. I'll show you when I get it done. Okay, I just used a flathead screwdriver and I slowly, lightly just pushed it a little bit, you know. And then once I did get it from catching, it just slipped right in, you know. So I think that's okay. I even cleaned it up a little bit just to make sure that nothing was busted. But it looks okay. Man, what a relief. Gotta find those sump bolts now and clean them up. I found my 10 sump bolts. And they're pretty good, pretty clean. But just to make sure, I'm going to use Lucas Oil Brake Cleaner and just clean off the grease. And then wipe them. Wipe the threads. Like I said, I was thinking about using Loctite, but I don't have the confidence, man. And I have a feeling I'm going to have to remove it again. I mean, I just do. And so I'm not going to put Loctite on, I'm just going to torque them down as hard as I can without breaking them. but just clean up these bolts so that there's minimal grease residue on threads. KK? Put all the bolts in. I'm just using this to tighten it. Believe me, the torque on this is not going to tighten it to specs. So I can go all the way down until it doesn't turn anymore. And it won't be tight. I mean, not as it should be. So I will have to use a ratchet and hand tighten them to torque. Cross pattern. Now I'm going to get the, I don't have a torque wrench, but I should get one. Reason why I use this long bar is that when you put it on here, you have leverage to hold it vertically. Going to go to where I feel if I did any more it would crack it or break it. You do it enough, you kind of know. Cross pattern. I'm going to go over this many times just to make sure. As you saw from that impact, I did it all the way, and look, I could still turn it quite a bit, almost a full half turn. So that impact is not very strong in terms of torque. Just helps get the bolts in faster. Then full half turn. There's a specific pattern that you're supposed to go with and a specific inch-pounds of torque that you're supposed to go to. But like I said, I'm not a professional. I already did that one. It's tight. Man, that's pretty tight. Did this already. I did that already. I did this already, I think. Yep. Didn't do this one. So you see the amount of pressure I'm putting on these, right? For sure, it's a good tight seal with the gasket and the gasket maker in there. then once it cures, nothing should come out of here. Alright, I'm going to go through every one of these again. Okay, I've just tightened them all down without breaking any, which is good. I'm just going to rotate this and just see if it moves. I hope it moves. Because if it doesn't move, I'm in trouble. Hey, alright, moves. Moves freely. Looking at the valves, and they're both moving as it should. Alright, okay. I don't hear anything like grinding or hitting or anything like that. What do you guys think? Think I did alright? Alright, so I'm going to flip this right side up and might as well adjust the valves, you know? Huh. That one seems like it's this magneto that's kind of, it's chewed, but I don't see the wires yet, so I think it'll be alright. I'm going to set you up so that you can see the valves. So I'm going to get this to top dead center. That's where the piston is all the way to the very top and allowing these to be free. So you stick a flathead screwdriver in here, you rotate it. You see how the screwdriver is moving? I've already rotated to the top here, and right the second where it goes back down again, right there. Right there. Right there is top dead center. Yep, these are loose. Figure out which side is the exhaust. You can see this hole goes over here. Top is the exhaust. Bottom is intake. So I know that lawnmowers, it's 4 on the intake, 6 on the exhaust. I'm not too sure about riding mowers or lawn tractor engines. Gonna have to go online and check it out. But just for shits and giggles, let's do a 4 on the bottom. Yeah, I doubt it's 4 because it's really loose, you know? I think it's 8 or 10, right? So it's 8. Eight for the bottom. There's no 8. I have a 6 and a 10. We just do 10. See, it's still loose even with 10. Loose with this one, 10. 10 too. So it's definitely out of specs for sure. They're both too loose. 10, and it's still very loose. I'm going to go online and check out what the specs are. So I just checked online, and I was right the first time. For the intake, it's 3 to 5 thousandths of an inch, and for the exhaust, it's 5 to 7. So we take the median. Obviously, they're telling you that it's not a science. You know what I mean? It's between there. You know. So people usually just do 4 and 6, right? 3 to 5, you take the medium. 4, 5 to 7, you take the medium, which is 6. So 6 on the exhaust, as you can see, very loose. On the intake, 4, very loose. So we'll do the exhaust first at 6, all right? Take a 5/8 wrench, put it here, and a Torx. Turn it counterclockwise to loosen. There we go, now it's loose. Now you can turn the big bolt, okay? What did we say the top was? 6, right? Okay. Man, look how much of it, there we go, now it's starting to turn. Alright, that's good. Yep, that's good. Right? Now I'll hold it here, don't move it, just tighten the middle torque without moving it. Excellent. And it still seems like it's loose now. I'm just going to do this a bit more. That's good. Alright, that's good. Yeah. That's the exhaust. At 6, now we're going to do the bottom 4, same thing. This one's totally loose. Good. That's good. First shot too, how about that? Nice. So now our valves are adjusted. 4 1/1000ths of an inch for the bottom intake. 6 1/1000ths of an inch for the exhaust. Perfect. I'm gonna put the valve cover back on. With this you can put RTV on. Compression over here is not like a sump. Very low pressure in this area because it's after the head. Now the head gasket you can never use gasket maker on. Some people try it and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I've personally tried head gasket with Permatex. I've done a video on it. Didn't work. But then again, I didn't let it cure, so that could have been it too. That bolt is busted, stripped. thing is in there. But like I said, usually the gasket maker and 3 bolts is good enough. I'm going to tighten it down with my impact. 3/8 cross pattern. That'll be good. I'm going to clean my magneto. Installed my stator now. Here's my new stator. Got it for 12 bucks. Don't need to clean it. It's very clean. It's the dual circuit one. Red and black wire. Red one has a diode. Prevents current to go back to this. Since it's connected to the battery, you don't want to surge. And then current goes back into this stator and fries it. That's what the diode's for. Starter goes right here. So you usually want to put the wire in between, in the back of the starter. So therefore, it should be like that. And it fits like a glove. Find some bolts for that. What a pain in the ass. I had to go through to look for these. You know how you have a box of screws? So many screws that I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I think these are it. 1/4 inch. That one was a little stubborn. So you watch how it's rotating. If it stops, just don't do anymore. It will strip. That's good. That one won't move anymore, so leave it alone. That's it. Perfect. Alright, starter. This starter was used, $15, shipped. He says it works. I don't care if it's new. If it's only $15, I'll buy it. As long as it works. That's all you need it to do, is for it to work. It doesn't look clean and shiny, I don't care. Now, if I was going to keep this engine for myself, that's a different story. But I know I'm not going to, because I already have my Black Beauty and my Blue Bayou. And that's all I'm keeping. Not keeping anymore. So I'm putting the stator wire in between the starter. That's so it doesn't get chewed up by the flywheel flying around. That's what Tyrrell says. Tyrrell Dactyl. Tyrrell fixes all. I give shout outs to Tyrrell. He doesn't even know I exist. How about that? It's okay. He gives good advice. I'll shout out anybody that gives good advice. I watch a lot of his videos. You know, he doesn't make that many videos anymore. So busy, you know. Same goes with my brother man, Norman, over at iSave Tractors. He doesn't make videos that much either. He's busy making money, which I definitely don't blame him. And you guys can't either. Oh, right. This is so freaking impossible to do. Yep, can't do it. I'm going to have to use a wrench for that one. I really should get some ratchet wrenches. Save time. But 90% of the stuff I do, I use the impact. I don't mind wrenching. That's it. Alright. Stator. Starter. Clean the magneto. I'm going to find a Woodruff key for this. Find the flywheel. This is the original flywheel off of this engine. Cleaned it up. It was filled with grime, crap. All the magnets are tight, clean. Line up the two slots. One on the top of the crankshaft. And it's not a Woodruff. It's a square one. So I'm going to have to go find one of those. 10 aftermarket keys for $6.95 shipped. Just line up the slot, stick it in. Sometimes you have to move it around a little. Sometimes a light tapping with a screwdriver. Rust and stuff. Cool. What did I do with that nut? Oh. I'm pretty sure it might have been a washer too. I'm gonna have to look for that. I was mistaken. There was no washer because the cup has to go there in between this. There's the blower. Blower? I don't even know her. Now it's starting to look like an engine, huh? Yeah. Gonna get my electric impact, 1/2 inch. Impact 1/2 inch, 15/16. Cool. dipstick. Gotta install the dipstick. What's my next line, guys? Make sure the O-ring is good. Yep. Gotta install the dipstick. Let's all say it together. Let's all say it together. Cletus, you dipstick! This is the throttle plate that's off of Scott Keller's engine. The original I used on the 1500. So this is all bent out of shape, warped. I'm going to have to loosen this so I can pivot this out. Rebend that back. Just bent back the throttle plate and now it's free moving. However, I don't see where I put that thing to put the, you know what I mean? The cable. How does it go back and forth, you know what I mean? I gotta go figure that out. I gotta go look at one of the other ones. It's not very free and smooth here to do the choke. To do the choke, you got to pull it all the way back, and it's really tough. I don't know if I mean, I need some oiling and stuff, but it's not very smooth. And remember, I gotta adjust the governor too. Remember, because and this wire looks all bent. It's bent upwards. Yeah, this needs a lot of work. Go check out how the other ones look. Aha! So it goes into the white thing, and I need one of these things to go in there. Same. Alright, I got it. So my battery died, but I couldn't stop working, right? So what I just did was I got the throttle plate all fixed up, right? And oiled, smooth. Added this thing over here so it's ready for a cable, right, to stick into this hole. Still have to adjust the governor because I just did whatever, you know, but honestly I think it seems okay, you know. I had this this is the cover from the John Deere LA 105. It says 19 horsepower, but this is a 17.5 engine. I put the carburetor on, and it fit perfectly, along with the linkages. This carburetor came with a nice new hose that's bent right here for a reason. So it's ready for a fuel filter as well as a fuel shutoff. Solenoid on the bottom. This is the wire that goes to it. That's it. I just put on the intake manifold, the carburetor, the canal that goes to the air to the cover. I just put the spark plug in. Made sure this is touched that. This is the magneto wire for the kill. stator and lights. Starters assembled. Dipsticks on. I actually have a new filter in stock. Can you believe that? It's the pre-filtered. Goes right in there. Clamps down. Boom. Well, that engine's fixed and finished. All I need is something to put it on, you know? And of course, I don't know if it works. I mean, my confidence level is not that high, but I don't know, maybe it'll work. But this is a 17.5 engine, rebuilt, and it's ready for my next application. I'm thinking it should be the Scots with the Kawasaki engine in it. That never ran right. So I'd like to put this one in. That'll be my next project. Honestly, guys, it really wasn't that difficult. You just kind of have to know what you're doing. Not saying that I know what I'm doing, but I've done enough of them to kind of figure it out. You know what I mean? I mean, I feel okay about it. I'm not as confident as I should be, but so basically we spent about 110 on rebuilding this, new parts and stuff like that. Starter, carburetor, stator. Used some of the parts from the old one, air filter, all that stuff I had on hand. Thanks to Lucas Oil for the products, and I'm gonna put some SAE30 in here, and then my next project. So that's where my magnet ashtray is. I better put in that Earl before I forget. Earl. Hey guys, support my channel, buy a sticker. Also follow me on Instagram at Mowers Blowers. Check out my website, mowersblowers.com. See you guys on the next one.